You lead with your eyes and speak through your heart, he said. Conducting is communicating. Then he was asked at the last moment to fill in at the Los Angeles Philharmonic. At 24, he was younger than the musicians he would conduct. Then he gave it downbeat and struck a spark that electrified them. Years later, he became their youngest musical director.
The maestro who enchants audiences everywhere. We are spellbound by this living legend, Zubin Mehta.
And Zubin's destiny, he brought it along with him from his mother's womb.
One has to know how to cajole, to dominate, and to inspire at the same time. Some conductors have been told in their 80s that, look, if you carry on, you will not last. So some of them just stop. Some continue and die on the podium. I think the latter will be my case.
Mr. President, I've waited a long time this evening. I have a concert in Tel Aviv tomorrow night, so I won't keep you too long. But everybody was allowed 2 minutes, so we have probably come to the 48th minute now, right? From 25 people. So I won't take too much of your time. But the advice I can give, and one common denominator this evening, was our fathers. We have all spoken about our fathers. I wish our fathers, and in my case it's exactly the same, so I won't repeat what has been said already. All our fathers should be standing behind us today because we owe them a lot, and in my case also my mother. Advice I can give to young musicians is the story of this young 12-year-old violinist with his violin case walking in a New York street. He sees a policeman and he says, "Excuse me, officer, how do I get to Carnegie Hall?" Policeman looks at him and says, "Practice." Without that, hard work has been mentioned enough times. Without hard work, none of us would be here. Without dedication, honesty, perseverance, ambition, we have all that in common. And I respect and I bow my head to all of you. Let's finish this evening positively. The alphabet has come to an end. Thank you very much.
Our very special guest today is one of the greatest conductors of Western classical music of all times. He is Indian and he has performed with the most renowned orchestras and musicians, and he became a world citizen long before the phrase became fashionable. Zubin Mehta is with us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for talking to NDTV.
World citizen, yes, but Indian first.
Indian first, okay. Much to the delight of all the Indians who admire you so much but know you very little. We've always wondered how Indian is Zubin Mehta. And is it true, the story about you carrying a box of chilies with you everywhere you go?
Yes, because I have still not gotten used to Western food. He didn't do a concerted effort until later on, of course. I don't remember the first time I heard music in my life because it was always in my home. He was either teaching or practicing or rehearsing. I think I learned music and Gujarati at the same time. And my father's influence was, of course, indelible. I grew up with him, with his orchestra, with his quartet, and his influence on me, especially after he came back from America, after the war. So that was an ongoing 24 hours a day education for me, which then manifested itself when I went to Vienna practically, because that's when I heard a really good symphony orchestra for the first time in my life. Because until then, I had either heard the Bombay Symphony, which was a mixture of amateurs, Goan professionals, Indian Navy band. It was really a mixture of, the odd couple is nothing compared to our orchestra.
And apparently in the Navy band, members used to even wear the
uniforms, yes.
They went on
Yes.
So that milieu wasn't present then for Western classical music, isn't it? And your father also had to, at a certain point, leave India.
Well, it wasn't anymore after independence immediately. He was there until 1955. Then he just couldn't make two ends meet. It was purely an economical decision, not patriotic, because he was as nationalistic an Indian. In fact, my father grew up with, in my home there was quite an anti-British feeling all my youth. And for him to have to go to England first to earn his living was very difficult for him. Also, he had rough times, especially when his first job was in Glasgow. He couldn't get even a room to live in because they would see him as an Indian and not allow him in. This was 1955, were different times also in the British Isles. And finally he settled in Manchester and then went to New York. And it was for the orchestra a little new, but they did well. Then I came with the Los Angeles Philharmonic. And it was such a success. The public came on stage and they hugged the musicians. It was almost a pro-American demonstration. My colleague Kondrashin, who is a very good conductor, came with his orchestra, but the Romanians didn't buy tickets. So the organizer of the festival asked me, please, can you come to the concert with your orchestra? Because they had no public. So I asked the orchestra, and you know, Americans are good-hearted. They said, okay, let's go. And they gave the Russian orchestra a standing ovation. They played Shostakovich Symphony No. 8, which is a beautiful piece. And so for the orchestra, American orchestra, it was a discovery. And then they wanted to play it in America also. So it was a good colleague mixing of colleagues. But there was no love for Soviet Union then. Even the last few years, the program, when Mr. Hollander was an advisor here, was wonderful. Mr. Constantinescu, wonderful. He has made very good programming. And now you have a young lady who I wish her all the best.
Maestro Zubin Mehta, a great honor to talk to you on this very special day. After all these years, 61 years since you first conducted, and now we are near the Zubin Mehta podium. Please summarize the career of Zubin Mehta.
How many hours do you have for that? Even for a summary?
Yeah.
It's my family. זה משפחה שלי. Shalom משפחה שלי. It's a very, I still haven't given it as much thought as I should, that I'm finally saying goodbye to my family. I have to conduct Mahler's Second Symphony. That's all I'm thinking of at the moment.
Of course you are.
I have done this symphony very often. With them, the most momentous occasion with this orchestra for this symphony was at Masada.
Yes, I know.
Many years ago. And since then, I don't think we've done it too much. And today I chose this symphony for my farewell.
Of course, the Resurrection Symphony is so symbolic.